So now we're on slide two. And slide two is just a review of what we learned about in the last class. So when we look at the DNA in a cell, and so remember the DNA is in the nucleus of all plants and all animals. The only exception of DNA not being in a nucleus is with a bacteria, and that's that it does not have a nucleus. It still has DNA. Remember, all living things have DNA. All living things have genetic materials. But in the case of a bacteria, it's not in the organelle we call a nucleus, right? It's in the cell, but just not the nucleus. And so, and they also don't form them in chromosomes like in bacteria, okay? But this would be a typical animal cell or a plant cell. So when we look at this, we are looking at the nucleus is here. And remember that the nucleus always does not have to be in the center of the cell, right? Pictures tend to show it that way, but that's not really the way it is. And well, think about in a plant cell, right? Plant cells have these great big vacuoles, and those vacuoles are filled with water, and they kind of blow up a little bit. And very frequently, the nucleus of that cell is actually pushed to the edge of the cell. Okay, so it's not always in the middle. And so when the DNA, which is about 6 feet long in each cell, by the way, when the DNA is all coiled nice and tight, they're in structures called chromosomes. And we tend to look at them and we think of chromosomes, if you're familiar with genetics at all, is we think of them as being X's, right? And some of them look like X's, but they're not all X's. So we have them, if they're tightly wound, they're in the form of chromosomes. When they are unwound, right? They're unwound, they form this thing called the double helix, right? So it's a double helix even inside, but it's just really tightly wound. Okay. So the green is the cell. The nucleus is the organelle in the center that holds the DNA. And then that DNA is in the form of things called chromosomes. Now, human cells have 46 chromosomes. We have 23 pair, right? You get 23 from your mom, 23 from the dad. Okay. And so we should have 46 chromosomes total if we have a regular complement of cells. Now, the only cells that don't have 46 chromosomes are sex cells, right? But that makes sense. If you're going to get half your DNA from your mom, half your DNA from your dad, you get 23 from your mom, you get 23 from your dad. You put them together, 46 is the magical number. Okay. So we're going to go on to slide 3.